everybody, it's me, John, aka Nosy, and I'm here not for a review this time, but actually a topical kind of video and question. If anybody would like to do a video response to this, you are more than welcome. It'd be nice to get a nice kind of response to this. So I thought to just do this because it's a thought that's just occurred to me. Other people, I think, have done other alliterations or have kind of done videos in this about this topic. I won't say I'm the only person that's ever come up with this idea, but the question is, as you can see by the title of the video, what are your most favourite, that you have so much nostalgia over, what lines within the Transformers continuity of the toys are your favourites and why? Why are they your favourites? If you wish to bring any specific toys into it or whatever, it's up to you. But for me, it has to be said, and people won't be surprised by this one, is I've loved the Beast Wars. Beast Wars is my G1. I consider that, well, it is part of the G1 continuity, that said, but the Beast Wars continuity, the toys, hold a very significant, special place in my heart. Because I remember when I was a kid, I had a few of the toys. I don't have them anymore, but I have bought them back since when I started collecting. And yeah, so the Beast Wars toy line is very hit and miss, but I'm a big fan of the basics line within the Beast Wars line. These little guys, these are known as the basics, and I have a lot of them. Air Razor is also one of these basic toys, as well as Pterosaur here. The basics toy line is one of my favourites as sub-genre within the line. But Beast Wars is not just the only line I love within the continuity of the toys. I also have a big soft spot as well for the Unicron trilogy toy line, Armada, Cybertron and Energon. I know it's a bit polarising with fans about the TV series itself, because I love Armada and I like Cybertron. Energon I've been very hit and miss over, mostly down to the animation, but that's not what we're really talking about today. It's about the toys. Now, for me, what makes a line, when I was younger and I started getting into Transformers, I started watching the cartoons and like discovering certain stuff, because I didn't discover G1 Transformers until much later on. So obviously I was born in '89, so I was a bit late, into kind of discovering G1. And it was when they did the G2 side of it. They started airing G2, which was basically just G1, but they repackaged it with new titles and things of that nature, like title opening sequences and all that kind of jazz. And also they started like re-releasing different colour schemes and stuff for G2 within the toy lines. And yeah, for me, because obviously I'm a 90s kid, I'm a 90s kid. I grew up through the 90s, and obviously Beast Wars was one of the lines, because obviously that came out in 95. Yeah, about 95 is when the toys started hitting shelves, and is when the show actually debuted here in the UK as well on TV. And yeah, it's just, yeah. So let me get back on track and go in completely off topic here. But yeah, so Beast Wars is one of them. The Unicron trilogy toy line, there is some amazing toys within that. And also Transformers Prime and Transformers Animated. So those four are what really hold a very dear place in my heart, because they are pretty spread out throughout the timeline of the Transformers for me. Because for me, when it comes to Transformers, I do like my gimmicks to a degree. My favourite gimmick is the Minicons. Hence why I love the Unicron trilogy toy line, because in Armada and Cybertron and so on, you have the Cybertronic key or Cyberplanet key, which was in Cybertron, and then also you had, like in Armada, you had the little Minicon companions that you could actually put a little Minicon guy with a deluxe figure or whatever, one of the other figures, Autobot Decepticon, and it would unlock a secret weapon, a special weapon, which I thought was a really cool touch as a toy. There are some gimmicks out there that don't make any sense. Then there's some really weird ones, like within the Beast Wars toy line. There's actually a couple of them that have like built-in water pistols, which is kind of cool, but I've never really gone down that avenue with the toys. But there's been some really weird gimmicks over the years. But for me, my favourite is the Minicons, because I've always been a big fan of Minibots, Minicons, and all that kind of jazz. And for me as well, Transformers Prime, I love the TV series. I love the cartoon, the animated series. And I generally think they did a great job with majority of the toys. There's a couple that I can say I was a bit underwhelmed by the toy representation of the character. One of which is Knockout. The original Knockout release for the Prime, Transformers Prime. I love Knockout. He's one of my favourite characters in Transformers Prime. However, that toy is terrible for me personally. It does not look like Knockout. I mean, unless they couldn't, for licensing reasons for the toy, maybe they couldn't get a vehicle mode that was close to what he was in the show. Maybe. But he looked terrible. I've got it. I have got that toy, and I've also got the new version of it through the Legacy line, which is better, much better compared to what we got originally. And also, I would actually kind of add a fifth line. I am actually quite enjoying the Legacy line to a degree. There's some figures within that line that are very much, I've never heard of them before. Some of them are like one shot, maybe literally kind of been in one panel of a comic book, or they used to be in the Marvel UK comics, or there was in the Dreamwave comic continuity, or whatever. I never really grew up with the comic books. I never really looked into the comic books. It wasn't until much later, around about when Michael Bay started bringing up, when the Michael Bay films started coming out, they did tie-in comic books, and I started to kind of buy into them a little bit. And then I got the Beast Wars Omnibus comic book as well. But yeah, I don't really look into the comic books that much. It's only recently that I've been really looking into and enjoying the Skybound Transformers comic book series. For me, the lines that hold a very special place in my heart for certain reasons has to be, of course, Beast Wars, because it was the very first it was the very first Transformers toy line that I asked my mum and dad to buy for me as toys, which I used to have like G.I. Joes or Action Force here in the UK. I used to have the odd TMNT figures. I used to have Action Men. I used to have some of the vehicles as well. I had quite a plethora of different toys from different things. The Beast Machines line as well, which is part of Beast Wars. And I remember I used to have Jetstorm as well, back when I was a kid. Jetstorm has always been one of my favourite characters from Beast Machines. Even though Beast Machines, I prefer Beast Wars to Beast Machines. However, it was a radically different thing. There was nothing quite like Beast Machines at the time. Animation, character design, everything was totally different and very original, to the to the point of originality where it was very polarizing with Transformers fans, and also very polarizing with general audience viewers. Some people just didn't understand the concept, and the story was a little bit weird, and everything compared to Beast Wars. But yeah, so that's basically the video today, and it will be interesting to kind of get other people's opinions, because I generally think, I think majority of the fan base will probably have a very similar viewpoint to me, or they might surprise me. They might have different lines completely that are favourites. I mean, some people might be surprised that I haven't brought G1 toy line into it. Don't get me wrong. The G1 toy line is one of my favourites. I do love the G1 toy line. I haven't bought into the G1 toy line as much. I do have some G1 figures. I've got G1 Double Dealer, I've got G1 Optimus Prime, I've got a couple of G1s. I've got a couple of the mini bots as well. I've got the Insecticons, I've got Blitzwing, and so on. Of the mini bots, should I say? I like Bumblebee and Hubcap and that, and Tailgate. I think I've got somewhere. But for me, G1 does hold a special place in my heart. Don't get me wrong, but for me, it started with Beast Wars, and for that reason is why Beast Wars is such a primary favourite line. Next to, obviously, I forgot about Robots in Disguise from 2001, because that is becoming quite a forgetful line. A lot of people that grew up, my age group and older, they'll still remember 2001 Robots in Disguise. Younger ones that are growing up with Transformers now probably won't until they start looking into, like I did. Because if it wasn't for the fantastic thing of Google, well, when Google first came about and YouTube started back in like 2006, that opened a door for me in looking into different lines, different continuities, G1, G2, all the different stuff, reminiscing about stuff I used to watch back when I was a kid, back on Fox Kids and Jetix and Cartoon Network, all that kind of stuff. And those lines that I've mentioned during this video are the ones that primary, for me, animated got me back into collecting. Watching the show and also starting the collection side of things, starting buying into the whole Transformers thing again, was back in around about 2007, which was when the very first live action film came out. And that's when I started my very first YouTube channel, and that's where it all kind of spiraled into that direction. There's certain reasons why I like the certain lines I do. Mostly nostalgia. But I had a lot more fun playing with the toys when I was younger, because of the gimmicks that you got with certain figures, and also I'm just a big fan of. I do love my mini bots, my mini cons. I don't know why I love them so much, but I do. There's just something about them. They're just simple little bots, but yet they are pretty cool at the same time. And I exactly love the Armada line for that reason, where they really optimise the idea of the mini con or the mini bot, and used it as a gimmick with another coexisting character, and also you could combine them to make the sword and the shield. It was really pretty cool. I really do love that line for that. And also there was really the toys. The toy as well, for me, what makes self gravitate towards a line is how close they can get to the animated counterpart of that character as well. That is a very, very important thing for me. I go by what gravitates towards my eye. I'm not a collector that collects to complete. I buy characters I love, really like, and I buy into it in that way. I don't have complete collections. I will probably never will because space is a problem. But no, for me, those have to be the lines that hold such a significant place in my heart. Transformers Animated is another line as well, which I think I've mentioned about, and I just love the very out there approach to the design of the characters. A very different approach on Optimus Prime and his team. Making Optimus a rookie rather than a fully fledged elite, which he becomes later. I thought that approach was cool, and that the toy representations were very good. Again, there was some bad figures, but very few and far between. But yeah, I mean, in every line, you're going to get your good and your bad toys for QC problems or the plastic choices and all that kind of jazz. But yet, for the most part, I think they were pretty much bulletproof lines for toys. Was the closeness to the character design from the show. I think we got better toy representations from those lines. And yes, I won't deny that the new current line, like the Legacy Evolution and United, they are doing a good job with certain lines, kind of like bringing back like a mixed match of Beast Wars with all sorts of different lines, all different continuities. I think that's a good idea on Hasbro and Takara's part, was to bring a very mixed, different line. So wherever you are in your collection, and what kind of point you were watching the show, or reading the comics, or watching the TV series, or films, or whatever, you've got a mixture of everything. You've got movie-esque figures, you've got Beast Wars figures, you've got RID 2001, you've got Armada. You've got such a mix mash there, and you can pick and choose what you would like to buy into for that line, and I think that's a good thing. But anyway, so there we are. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to go now, otherwise this video is going to go on for much longer than I anticipate it to go on for, and I will just kind of ramble. But thank you, and I'm very much looking forward to people's responses if they choose to. And yeah, so let me know, what are your favourite lines, what's the reason for it, and all that jazz. But thank you. Take care of yourselves, and I shall be back with more videos very soon.